Good morning, everyone. I'm here at Goats with Horns Animal Sanctuary and Real-Time Rescue. We're doing some very early morning chores. Got Fernando here on the fence. Fernando is our male turkey, and he's a bit of an old man. So in the morning, when he is roosting up here. He roosts on the fence overnight. So in the morning, before he fully wakes up and jumps down, we go ahead and we put a little plate of food for him up on the roof of whatever coop he's closest to so that he will hop over and get it. Yeah, I'm talking about your food. Don't worry, I'm not taking it. So I know it's probably pretty hard to see since it is dark right now, but he's got a bunch of worms. And then this right here is a little ball of bread. And inside that bread is an anti-inflammatory for him. Since he is an old man, like I said, he, just like any animal or human, as they get older, we can kind of sometimes get some aches and pains. And a while back, he was doing so poorly that we thought, it might be time to have him euthanized. He was just so sore and he wouldn't come out. He basically moved into a bush back here and just stayed in the corner of a bush, like under a bush, like all the time. We would, chase him out, try to get him to come out. And after we did that, he would just go right back in there. We had to bring him food and water because he wouldn't leave. And he was just so sore. And that's what happens to birds like turkeys a lot of the time because they have been bred to just be so unnaturally large that their legs can't support their bodies. And it's extremely painful for them. And, once they can't move at all at that point, it's not a good quality of life. So we thought that's what was happening. But once we introduced some anti-inflammatories, he perked up. It's like he's a whole new younger bird. So it's not as dark over here since we've got lights, but we're just finishing up some breakfast right now. Everybody's doing well, having some hay. Everyone was on their best behavior. I did not live stream last weekend. I think I was in a little bit of a rush, but also we did not have everybody on their best behavior. I'm looking at Merman and Frankie over there. So it was a little bit chaotic, but things are going well today. We've got the littles, the pygmy and dwarf goats all in this stall together, except for Gilbert. I think he's eating with the big boys today. Oh, yep, he's over there. Little Gilbert. We'll put him in a stall in a little while so he can eat his bowl of food. Rapunzel already scarfed her bowl of food. We've got the demure ladies over here, Esperanza and Elaine, just the two sweetest, most gentle animals ever. They might need a little more hay. Thomas and Suerte. Princess getting some attention from Talia in here. Oh, I did not grab it. Inside? Yeah, it's inside still. I knew I was forgetting something. Talia just reminded me that nobody's gotten their medicine yet. So she's going to go take care of that, luckily. We've got the quacking crew over here. Bruno, Mars, Clyde, and Elvis. They're hanging out in here. This is where they sleep. They used to kind of live in stalls all the time, but now they have turned a new leaf in their lives and decided that they like exploring. So for the longest time, they didn't. We would try to force them to come out and they would just come right back to the outside of the stall gate, like quack, 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 like let me back in. Whereas Elvis, the fully black feathered duck, he used to roam freely, but then he lost one of his buddies. He came in a group of 3. And then the other one was very sadly killed by a predator. And at that point, we decided, to keep him locked up just for safety. But yeah, now suddenly they're friends and they'll come out in a while. Once Princess finishes, we might have to use that stall to put Gilbert in to get his bowl of special food. We kind of play musical stalls during mealtime since we don't have infinite amount of stalls, but yet we have many animals on, special diets or that need a little extra time to eat or things like that. But after the goats are done in here, we'll bring them some fresh food so they can eat a little bit before they head out to explore everywhere. Here's Nala, the Bala, over here, munching on some hay. Her bowl is empty. She had some sweet feed this morning, as well as some alfalfa hay pellets, and then a bunch of my food scraps. So around here, a lot of us will save our food scraps to cut down on food waste, and basically the animals like it. So, for example, I go through a lot of bananas at my house, but all the peels, instead of throwing them in the trash, I just put them in a big Ziploc bag in my fridge, along with, I had some shell, like the shell from a squash, and tops of bell peppers, right, Nala? And I just bring it all and put it in her bowl, and she loves it. She had some mango peel today too. Norma, on the other hand, has a sensitive tummy, so we don't give her very much produce at all. I did give her just a couple little chunks of banana with her cob sweet feed and hay pellets. I kind of gave them like usually they only get hay pellets or cob or sweet feed, but I gave them a scoop of everything. They've been a little extra hungry lately, so figured, well, we do that. And part of the reason is because it gets a little colder at this time of year. No, we are in the desert, the Sonoran Desert of Arizona. So compared to other parts of the world, maybe it's not so cold. But overnight, it does get into lately it's been getting into the upper, 40s or so Fahrenheit. And that's a little chilly for us when we're used to, 100, 110, 115 degrees. Then if it only gets up into the 60s, 70s, or 80s, that is a pretty large temperature shift. I'm not sure if you can see, like I said, we are doing chores in the dark right now, but Zeus is over there getting some love from Johnny while he's scooping poo, taking a break to give Zeus some attention. I'm kind of showing you guys the field because that's another reason that we have to feed extra grain, produce, and hay right now at this time of the year. You can see the field is looking kind of brown. There's not very much green, and it's because we use native grass here, and it's Bermuda grass, and it goes dormant in the winter. So we don't reseed it or anything like that. It kind of just all dies in a couple more weeks. It'll probably be just completely brown, like tan, just look completely yucky and dead. But come springtime, it'll grow fresh and, it kind of comes back to life. And so then they'll have access to that grass to graze on. But right now, they don't really have that. So we feed a lot of hay to everybody. Let me just really quickly see if this hose is off. It is not. We have to make sure the hoses are off. That's a little interesting fact about Arizona. Even when it is wintertime, the sun here, because we are close to the equator, is just so strong that if we were to leave any water in the hose, like I even have to burp it, relieve all the pressure, make sure there's no water left. Because if I don't do this, the sun will heat the water inside the hose so much that it will start steaming and expand and the hoses will explode. We actually go through a lot of hoses here because of that. So gotta make sure that water is off. We might have to turn it on again to top off everybody's water, but I think everything was pretty full still. So I don't want that bursting. And that's, as you could see, it was already a little leaky and starting to build up pressure. That's why I saw, oh, hi, bud. Hey, Susie. I could see this muddy puddle over here and there's no reason for the mud. So I realized, the hose, something must be leaking over here. In the summertime, you would love that, huh? The piggies take lots of little mud baths in the summer, but they don't do that so much at this time of year. It's a little cold to be rolling around in wet mud. Huh, Julio? Got a little hay pile. Everybody's doing well. If you follow us on social media, you'll know that Chico here recently had quite the horn injury. but he is recovered. He got it soldered after he broke off his horn. It was bleeding everywhere, and the vet at first thought that it was minor enough that we would be able to treat it ourselves, but it just kept bleeding. So she came out and kind of burned, like cauterized it. I think I said soldered. That's the wrong word. Cauterized it. But then it was still bleeding a tiny bit the next day. So we had to spray it with silver spray to keep it closed up and sealed. And then it was fine. Now he's doing good. If you're not following us on social media, feel free to do so. You can check the links in the description box. We have our Patreon listed and Instagram, Facebook, things like that. So if you want to, support us or see more of kind of what goes on around here, then please do so. We'd love to have you. I'm trying to see if Zeus is going to climb in the trough. I don't like him to climb in the trough, but he likes to climb in the trough. And the reason is this trough is actually broken. There's supposed to be like legs under it to keep it elevated. But one side broke off, and so it became a safety issue. So we, got the other side off too. So now it's lower to the ground. And Zeus decides that means it's just for him. So he will climb in there, and then he'll kind of hog the hay, no pun intended. And he'll snap at anybody who tries to eat hay. So it's a little obnoxious. It's part of the reason I put some little piles of hay outside of the trough. Oh, nope, he doesn't care. He's like, nope, mine. Rude. He's pretty proud of himself though. So they just try to eat around him. Oh, now you're getting covered in hay, sir. Anyway. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I think we're kind of done doing chores in the dark. The sun is starting to rise, as you can see. Oh, and it looks like, let's just go over here and make sure. But it looks like Fernando did hop up onto that coop roof. Let's see if he ate his medicine. Medicine ball, the bread ball, if you remember. Oh, yes. If you're tuned in right at the beginning. Yep, that plate looks empty. Good boy. If you tuned in at the beginning, I was talking about how, he takes anti-inflammatories now it changed his life. Hi, Pie, you still need to hop down and get your breakfast. You need to hop down, girly. Time to eat. But yeah, so we put a little pill in a ball of bread, and with some worms and some other like little treats on a plate. And then we set it up on whatever coop he was closest to, because he roosts on the fence here. So he ate it. I just wanted to make sure, because if he hadn't eaten it yet, we would need to try to encourage him to get that before we let the chickens out of their coops. Otherwise they will try to steal it. So that is about it. Thanks so much for hanging out with us while we do some chores. I could probably turn the lights off now, and now the sun's coming up. I look forward to hearing if anybody has some comments or questions. Feel free to leave those down below, or like I said, follow us on social media. And we will be here. Hopefully Karen will get to do a live stream soon, or I'll try to jump on again next Sunday. That's usually the day that I try to come on here. It's one of the days I do chores. So thanks again, everybody. Have a great week, and see you soon.